Okay, thank you everyone. Good morning. My name's Kate. I'm based in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And so the work I'm going to be discussing today is all comes from the question of how many times can we come apart and back together again and continue to be a version of ourselves. Um, I'm a weaver, but I'm also an unweaver, more importantly in some ways. My practice is um, rooted in the home, rooted in the domestic, and rooted in disassembling and reassembling ideas of home from from a queer perspective. Oh, sorry, here we go. Um, I take domestic objects, oftentimes napkins, handkerchiefs, tea towels, and I take them apart piece by piece, slowly and quietly, and with the intention of rebuilding. You'll see up at the top corner here, I have my steps outlined of how I go about this process. So first, I seek volunteers. Um, I can't work with the unwilling. I I work with objects that express some sort of consent. It feels kind of woo-woo and silly to say, but I work with objects that want to be worked with, just as I want to be worked with. It's a very give and take kind of a situation. Next, we come apart. Um, Pulling threads one by one out of these objects, unpicking hems, and um, loosing these threads from these planes. We both come apart. I come apart, they come apart. It's this kind of, we both work alongside each other, we work upon each other. And in that coming apart, I have this promise I kind of have to um, fulfill, unspoken, spoken, what have you. Um, Keeping the threads, keeping as care is kind of the thought process here. Um, Keeping the threads in order. And so here you can see threads are embedded in books because as they're pulled one by one out of their woven planes, the intention is that eventually they'll be rewoven of one day. And so the books allow me to have a million fingers, um, because otherwise the process of coming undone and being vulnerable would be untenable. Um, we'd just become little drifts of threads across a desk, kind of static electricity stuck to you or what have you. My dog walking away with a thread in its mouth. Um, Next, we come together. This is an example of one of the ways that the objects come together as one, right? So this is just one object. You can see the warp and weft have been unwoven, and I've rewoven one direction. But sometimes they will be rewoven as two. So here it's like a bifurcated self. So coming to the idea of like, how many times can you come apart and come back together again? Well, you can come back together and you might be two versions of yourself kind of bifurcated, or impressions of yourself onto another. Um, Also, I'm just obsessed with that little red thread that kind of showed itself in the hem of that napkin, just like the most sweet little, it's like a little kiss. Next, we take a bath. So taking a bath in practical terms is doing the laundry, but it's also mangling. It's using traditional linen processing techniques of pressing and folding, mangling, mangle boards. I've got my rolling pin that I press out these works with, trying to make new homes, pressing these threads into new homes, this linen warp that they found themselves a little home in. Also taking a bath means setting up a home. So painting the walls on which they'll be displayed and pinned all with little magnets. And how many times, and then we fold. So you can see here a version of the work installed like that. Okay, I'm done. Thank you. Sorry.